Here on Out by Dave Matthews is in standard tuning, the key of D, and I find it to be a really difficult song for two reasons. One, there's some really weird timing, and two, there's some really specific finger-picked parts in this song. I'm going to get to the timing and the rhythm a little bit later, but first I'll just show you the chords and the movements. The very first chord is going to be a version of a D chord, but it's going to be played a bit unconventionally. Dave Matthews starts off with his second finger on the second string third fret and his first finger on the third string second fret. And will pluck with his thumb the open fourth string, and then pluck up with his with his first and second fingers on strings 2 and 3, getting that feel right there. And then with his pinky finger, what he will do out of this position is he'll put his pinky finger down on the second string 5th fret, and then pull it off, exposing the still fretted with your second finger, second string 3rd fret. And that is going to be a little riff that happens in the intro. Going back and forth between your thumb and your first and second fingers on strings 4, which is your thumb exclusively, and then your first finger will be hitting string 3 and your second finger will be hitting string 2 up. And you're hitting that little catch note there with your pinky. After doing that in the intro, Dave Matthews, while in this D, then switches the finger that is holding down the second string 3rd fret and switches it to his ring finger. So you'll put your ring finger down on the second string 3rd fret and you'll pick up your second finger because you're going to use it for movements elsewhere. So the first technical set of notes for the song will be this D chord right here, where you're plucking string 4 and then plucking up with your first and second fingers on strings 3 and 2. The second movement, you're going to use your second finger to go to the 6th string 3rd fret. You'll pluck down with your thumb there, and you will pluck up again with your first and second fingers on strings 3 and 2, where your first and ring fingers are still planted at. The next movement will be with your pinky. You're going to take your pinky and you're going to put it down on the 5th string 4th fret. You'll pluck it with your thumb. And then the next movement is going to be with your first finger, which you'll pick up, and you'll move to the 6th string 2nd fret. So far we've got a D, a G, a C sharp, and an F sharp. The next movement is going to be again with your first finger. You'll move your first finger to the 5th string 2nd fret, and that'll actually get struck twice. And then you'll open up the 5th string and hit the 5th string open. Then you'll go to the 6th string open. Then you'll go to the 6th string 2nd fret. Then you'll go to the 6th string 3rd fret with your second finger. Then you'll go 5th string open. And whenever you go 5th string open, you'll bring your first finger back to the 3rd string 2nd fret. And then with your pinky, you'll hit 5th string 4th fret. And then that begins the cycle over again of D, G, C sharp, F sharp, B, B, A, E, E, F sharp, F sharp, G, A, C sharp, D. And again, I'll get to timing on this in a second. Whenever it goes to the chorus, it's going to be relatively simple chords. It'll be a G chord to a standard G chord. I've got my second finger on the 6th string 3rd fret. I've got my ring finger still planted where it's been the entire time on the 2nd string 3rd fret, and then I put my pinky on the 1st string 3rd fret. So standard G chord. To an A chord, you can make the A chord by just barring. You've got an open 5th string, and then you bar with your first finger across strings 4, 3, and 2 on the 2nd fret. So you've got G, then it goes back to a D chord, first string, or first finger on third string, second fret, ring finger on second string, third fret, and you're going to walk down to a B minor using your pinky finger. So you'll hit the open fourth string for the D, then you'll move with your pinky finger to the fifth string fourth fret for the C sharp, then you'll move to the fifth string third fret with your second finger for a C, all the while keeping your first and ring fingers planted where they were in that D formation. And then whenever you get to the B is where you release your first finger. You're going to move to the B with your first finger, the fifth string, second fret, and then take your pinky finger and place it down to make this chord on the fourth string fourth fret. With your first finger, where you've got it on this B note, bar it so that it also catches the third string on the second fret. So that's the third string, second fret, barred with your first finger. And you've still got your ring finger on the second string, third fret. So this is your B minor note. And that's walking down, going from D to C sharp, to the C, to the B minor. And then it goes to a G. And then the last chord of the chorus is a little bit quirky. The way that this is made is you put your first finger on the fourth string, on the fifth string, fourth fret, first finger, fifth string, fourth fret. Second finger goes on the fourth string, fifth fret, and then ring finger goes on the third string, sixth fret. And you'll just be plucking strings 5, 4, and 3 in this with your thumb, your first, and your second fingers. And this is operating as an A. Now, if you watch like the Tiny Desk version of Dave Matthews playing this song, he kind of aborts this chord and instead plays a standard A. But on the album and in most other live versions that I can find, that's the chord he ends up playing before coming back into the D of the chorus. For the bridge is going to be a B minor, and it's that same B minor that we talked about earlier from the chorus. Now, I've seen him play this B minor a couple different ways. Sometimes he plays it as a full B minor like this, where you've got your first finger on the fifth string, second fret, you put your ring finger on the fourth string, fourth fret, pinky finger on the third string, fourth fret, second finger on the second string, third fret, and pluck strings 5 through 2. Or you can do the same version that we talked about earlier, where you bar a little bit with your first finger and you leave the third string unfretted with your pinky, and instead the fretting is happening with your first finger on the third string on the second fret. I've seen Dave Matthews in videos play it that way as well. So the bridge is what we're talking about. It's a B minor, or begins quickly on a B minor, then goes to a G major chord, the same G major as earlier, and then an A chord that we talked about earlier, where you bar with your first finger, and then it comes back into the B minor. And those are the chords for this song. The next thing to cover is the timing, and we might as well start right here with the bridge since we're here. The timing seems to go to a bit of a triplet, like 1, 2, 3 sort of thing. So that's down once and up 3 times with your first and second finger. So it does it twice on the B, then goes to a G and does the same thing. It goes to the A and does the same thing. And goes to the B. One thing that I forgot to mention about the chord structures is that at the end of the bridge, the last chord that Dave Matthews plays is this instead of the A. The way that you make this chord is you've got your first finger on the 6th string, 2nd fret, you've got your second finger on the 3rd string 2nd fret, and then you've got either your pinky or your 2nd finger, whichever is most comfortable for you, on the 2nd string 3rd fret before resolving back into the verses on this D. Okay, let's look at the finger picked pattern and the timing of this song. During the verses, the picking pattern will always be a down with your thumb, immediately followed by an up with fingers 2 and 3. The thumb will always be striking the root chord, or the note that is moving the chord progression. In the case of the very first chord of the song, it's going to be the open 4th string, the D, then it moves to G, then it moves to C sharp, those notes that we talked about earlier. Your 1st and 2nd finger will always be striking, or generally will always be striking in the verse, strings 2 and 3 up. Your 2nd finger will be hitting string 2. Your 1st finger will be hitting string 3. The way that I want for us to count this, we're going to take a beat and subdivide it into 4 parts. That's called 16th notes, and that will be counted as 1E and 2E and etc. Like 1E and 2E and 3E and Notice how each one of the counts that I'm speaking out loud is coinciding with a pluck, either down or up with my fingers. 1E and 2E and All right, so if you'll notice, every time I'm saying a number like 1 or 2, and every time that I'm saying the word and, that is falling on the thumb. If I'm counting one of the E's or U's of 1, E, and the E's and U's are always your fingers plucking up in this verse. So I'm specifying this so that you can understand when you need to be moving the root notes. So hopefully, to clarify this a little bit more for you, the D is moving on a downbeat, the G is moving on a downbeat, the C sharp comes on an upbeat, the F sharp comes on an upbeat, the B comes on an upbeat, the A comes on an upbeat, the E comes on an upbeat, the F sharp comes on an upbeat, the next G comes on an upbeat, but then the A is on the downbeat, and the C sharp, I believe, is on a downbeat before coming back around to the D. So listen one last time as I just single out the notes that move and count over them for you. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and